Hi, my name is Kate Grosvenor. I'm a perimenopause expert and life coach, and welcome to my brand new series talking about all the perimenopause symptoms. I'm going to be going through every single one that's on my free perimenopause tracker and checklist. For the time I'm recording this first video, there's 129. Please don't run for the hills. You can get your free copy of the tracker and checklist just by clicking on the link that's below this video. It's damn free, you just download it. Okay, so number one on the tracker and checklist is difficulty concentrating. Okay, difficulty concentrating. Why do we have difficulty concentrating in perimenopause? Well, it's our good friend, the hormones. Now, normally when we talk about perimenopause, we're looking predominantly at estrogen and progesterone. But in this case, we're looking at more to do with estrogen and testosterone. Now, you're probably thinking testosterone is the male hormone. It's the one that bigs men up and they need loads of it when they go to the gym. Yes, but you actually have more testosterone as a woman than you even have estrogen. It's the hormone for women that makes us concentrate. It's responsible for our libido. In many ways, it's responsible for things like our confidence and our kind of get up and go and our bravado as well. In perimenopause, and actually slightly before perimenopause, we start to lose our testosterone. And our testosterone and our progesterone as well, as it happens, go down in a straight line. We lose them gradually over time. Our estrogen doesn't leave us like that. It leaves us in a kind of wiggly line, like our estrogen kind of goes up and down throughout our cycle. So some days you feel very calm, and other days you might feel a bit cranky, you know, that PMT type of feeling. That's your estrogen that's doing that for you, or to you, as it sometimes feels. As it leaves you in perimenopause and heading towards menopause, it does the same thing. It kind of goes like this, okay? So some days you'll wake up and you feel like, I can concentrate fine, my brain feels normal, all is all right, huzzah. And other times you feel like, what's going on? I've been kidnapped by aliens inside my brain and I can't put two words together. This is how the hormones work. Now, as your hormones are going up and, you know, are messing around and leaving your system, that affects the neurotransmitters in your brain. It affects the blood flow to your brain, and it affects things like sleep as well and anxiety. And all of those things affect your cognition. So if we take them individually, for example, sleep. Sleep is massively impacted in perimenopause, several ways. So you might get night sweats. If you haven't had one yet, the delight of night sweats. By the way, bamboo pajamas for the win in terms of that one. But night sweats will impact your sleep, because if you have a hot flash overnight, you tend to wake up because you have a hot flash, you start sweating, then you get very cold. If your pajamas or whatever you sleep in, or your bed sheets are very wet, they will stick to you, they'll get cold, and it's the cold that will wake you up, which is why I said bamboo pajamas for the win, because they're thermoregulating. So that will disrupt your sleep. Also, if you might have problems falling asleep in perimenopause, at which point we'd recommend things like magnesium supplements, magnesium oils. If you need any help on these things, I'll put my email address below, email me or comment below and I'll help you out with these supplements and stuff. So, you know, things like falling asleep is more difficult, staying asleep is more difficult. And that obviously is going to, the amount of sleep you get and the quality of sleep you get is going to impact your cognition and how well you think the next day, right? For obvious reasons. Then anxiety. So at this point, we do look a bit more towards progesterone. Progesterone is a soporific. It makes us feel calm. It makes us feel sleepy. It makes us feel, that's what progesterone does for us. Progesterone's also leaving our body. And if we're estrogen dominant, if we've got quite a lot of estrogen, we haven't got enough progesterone because of where they are to each other, we can start to feel more anxious. And sudden onset anxiety is quite common in perimenopause, and situational anxiety is quite common in perimenopause. So we might suddenly feel anxious about driving at night, or you might suddenly get social anxiety, or you might suddenly not want to be around people. All these things suddenly can start to happen in perimenopause. And again, if you, because our testosterone suddenly starts to deplete as well, maybe you just don't feel as confident as you used to. All of these hormones start interacting with each other, okay? And they can all impact sleep, and they can all impact confidence, and they can all impact, you know, how clearly you can think. Because if you're anxious, you start to think from your amygdala. Now, when we're using higher order thinking and we're starting to think about, you know, making really good rational decisions, we're using our prefrontal cortex, this front part of our brain. When we're in anxiety, we start to make decisions from our amygdala, which is right back here. That's our fight or flight zone, because when we're anxious, our brain starts to think we're in danger, because stress and anxiety is modern day danger. So it starts to use the back part of this kind of bit right in the kind of center of the brain back here, the amygdala. And it's not making rational higher order judgments. It's making judgments based on flight, fight, freeze. So we don't have that higher order thinking, those good decisions that are based on self-love, self-care, those kind of decisions, because it's literally basic decision making. So when we start looking at all these things, stress and anxiety, sleep disruptions, brain blood flow to the brain, you can start to see why we just don't have the same concentration capabilities as we used to before perimenopause. Now, before you start throwing things at your phone and screaming at me, there are some things that can help. Okay, I'm going to use the word help. I'm not going to use the word cure. Difficulty concentrating is not something that you can cure in perimenopause. There are things that help. Sorry, I hate it when people do the head things, but anyway. Don't try to over caffeinate your way out of it. All you do is wire your brain for anxiety more. A coffee in the morning, great, you know, perk yourself up. Use it an hour and a half after waking up though, because your wide awake hormone, which is your cortisol, will do the job for you for the first hour and a half. And then if you're going to have a coffee, have one after that. Okay, don't waste your coffee for the first hour and a half. All right, because too much coffee and caffeine doesn't suit. Too much coffee and too much caffeine in perimenopause won't suit you. But use it afterwards by all means. Like I have a good cup of coffee and then I'm done for the day with caffeine. Cacao and things like that afterwards is much better. But before, you know, don't have it for the first hour and a half, as I said, because cortisol will be keeping you alert. Things that can help. Exercise will really, really help you. Why? Because it reduces your stress level anyway and your anxiety level, but it also increases the blood flow to your brain. So that will massively help you. There are certain supplements as well that will help you, make you more alert, make your brain calmer, because when your brain is calmer, it actually ironically becomes more alert. So there are some supplements, again, I'll put some links in the notes below of some supplements that I would recommend to help you. Staying hydrated, a hydrated brain is a much nicer environment. So when your brain is dehydrated as well, it's going to have less chance of thinking clearly. And obviously, the more sleep you can get, the better quality of sleep that you can get, the more fighting chance your brain has as well. So there are things like magnesium, different types of magnesium. So magnesium glycinate is the best one for helping you to sleep. But if you mix it with taurate, which helps helps make your brain calmer and less anxious. And then a magnesium malate as well, which helps to relax the muscles. You've got the perfect combination of magnesiums, in my opinion, for a good night's sleep and relaxation. That's why I have a lifestyle brand as well. And those are the three that we combine in our magnesium complex for perimenopausal women, because those are the three very best ones, in my opinion, for perimenopausal women. So yes, you can use supplements that will help you stay hydrated. Exercise will massively help you. And then things like even just certain productivity helps. Like I use the notes on my phone a lot. I'm not going to lie, I'm an Apple girl. This hasn't been promoted by Apple in any way, shape or form, but I use the notes app on my phone, and it syncs up with my iMac, which syncs up with my MacBook, so that wherever I am, I'm making notes for myself constantly. And I don't rely on post-it notes, because I then lose the post-it notes. So have some kind of system where wherever you are, notes are syncing up. Send yourself voice notes. You know, there are some kind of, try and figure out some kind of system where concentration isn't as, you know, be all and end all as you used to. Try and do it in bite-sized pieces, if you see what I mean. And everything in my, I don't rely on myself to remember as much as I used to, because I used to have like this powerhouse memory, and now I just, everything goes in the diary. I've got to remember a tablet, it goes into my calendar. I have pings and reminders about everything. I need to change an HRT patch, it goes into my calendar and I get reminded. I need to leave for a meeting, I get reminded. I need to have some, it get reminded. Everything works on reminder systems, okay? So I hope that helps. I will do obviously the next video on symptom number 2. Anything that I've mentioned in this video, I will try and link below. If you have any questions, do feel free to pop me an email or a message on social media. Take care, and do, if you like, but I subscribe to this channel for more talk on perimenopause, midlife, lifestyle, life coaching, mindset, mental health, and more. Thank you.